Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today, we are unpacking a moment in media history that really feels like the end of one era and the violent, fascinating beginning of another. We're looking at the Walt Disney Company. And if you've been keeping an eye on the headlines, you know that the House of Mouse just dropped a bombshell, one that is going to ripple through Hollywood, through Silicon Valley, and frankly, right into your living room for years to come. I have spent the last few days just buried in a stack of sources. We're talking Disney's Q1 fiscal 2026 earnings report, huge press releases from both OpenAI and Disney, and then some really deep reporting from places like The Hollywood Reporter, NBC News, and TechCrunch. And look, usually an earnings call is, just a bunch of suits talking about margins and EBITDA, but this is different. This was CEO Bob Iger taking a victory lap, posting massive numbers, and then almost casually announcing that he's handing the keys to the Magic Kingdom, Mickey, Marvel, Star Wars over to artificial intelligence. It's a huge juxtaposition. On one hand, Disney is just crushing it at the box office with very traditional storytelling, but on the other, they're making this historic, deeply controversial pivot to try and future-proof the company against the AI revolution, while at the same time fighting a legal war against it. It's messy, it's lucrative, and it's exactly what we're going to explore. Okay, so first we have to set the stage with the money. You just can't understand the risk Iger is taking with AI until you understand the position of strength he's operating from right now. Bob Iger is getting ready to leave, again. His contract is up at the end of the year, and he's spent the last 3 years fixing the company. And according to these earnings, well, the fix is definitely in, Disney delivered what Wall Street calls a beat. Revenue for the quarter hit $26 billion. Segment operating income was $4.6 billion. They beat earnings per share projections, coming in at $1.63. Now, I know numbers can be dry, so let's talk about why they made that money. Because it matters. It proves that the old model isn't dead yet. Not by a long shot. The calendar year 2025 was an absolute monster for Disney. They had 2 films cross the $1 billion mark globally, Zootopia 2 and Avatar, Fire and Ash. And here's a detail from the earnings report that really stuck out to me, and it's something we need to pause on for a second. Zootopia 2 isn't just a hit. It is now the highest-grossing Hollywood film of all time in China. It made $630 million in China alone. Just think about the context there. For the last few years, the whole narrative has been that Hollywood is dead in China. Marvel movies were struggling, local Chinese films were dominating. The idea was that the geopolitical tension was too high, the cultural gap too wide. And then along comes a rabbit cop and a Foxconn artist, and they absolutely shatter that ceiling. That number $630 million is just staggering. It shows Iger that despite all the noise, Disney's IP still travels. It still translates across borders in a way almost nothing else does. And it's not just the big screen, the streaming turnaround, which was, the massive headaches for years that seems to be happening. Streaming revenue hit $5.3 billion. Operating income is up to $450 million. Remember when Disney Plus was losing billions of dollars? That era is over. They actually stopped disclosing subscriber numbers this quarter, which, that's usually a bad sign, right? It's like when a tech company stops telling you how many units they sold. But here, they did note they have 132 million Disney Plus core subscribers. They're signaling to the market that the growth at all costs phase is done. It's about profitability now. And we have to talk about Bluey, the show that parents love just as much as kids. It was the most streamed show in the US for the second year in a row. It clocked 45 billion minutes. That is just a mind-boggling amount of time. It's basically the babysitter for an entire generation, and that kind of retention is what keeps churn low. So picture this. Bob Iger is on the earnings call. He's telling analysts, I'm incredibly proud of what we've accomplished. He's talking about fixing the house. He's setting up his successor, who everyone thinks is going to be Josh D'Amaro from the Parks division, with a company that is finally profitable in streaming and dominating the box office. It sounds like a perfect traditional Hollywood success story. But then we get to the twist. The thing that changes everything. While Iger is bragging about Zootopia and Avatar, he drops the news of a landmark agreement with OpenAI. This isn't a small experiment. This is not, we're using AI to sort our emails. This is a $1 billion investment in OpenAI, the creators of ChatGPT and Sora. And it is a 3-year licensing agreement that completely changes how we interact with Disney characters. Okay, let's unpack what this deal actually does, because the details are wild. Disney is integrating Sora, that's OpenAI's video generator, directly into its pipeline. For those of you who haven't played with these tools, Sora is a text-to-video model. You type in a futuristic city with flying cars in the style of 1950s Chrome, and it generates a video clip that looks, well, frighteningly real. Now, Disney is bringing over 200 specific characters into this AI model. We're talking Mickey, Minnie, Ariel, Simba, Iron Man, Darth Vader, the Mandalorian. They are feeding the very soul of these characters into the machine. But there is a crucial limitation here that I want to flag immediately, because it's where all the legal lines are drawn. The deal does not include talent likenesses or voices. So the AI can generate Iron Man, the suit, the armor, the repulsor blasts, the movement, but it cannot generate Robert Downey Jr.'s face. It can generate the Mandalorian, but not Pedro Pascal's face under the helmet. It's a very specific distinction between the character IP, which Disney owns 100%, and the actor portraying them, who has rights to their own face. But the real question is why? Why spend $1 billion on this? They just proved they can make billions making movies the old-fashioned way. Why pivot now? Well, the answer lies in the consumer experience Iger described. They are building a feature on Disney Plus that allows for two things. First, a curated slate of Sora-generated videos, but more importantly, and this is the real game changer, they are opening the door for user-generated content. The goal is to let fans, to let you, create short-form videos using these characters with just a simple text prompt. I mean, think about that for a second. For 100 years, Disney has been the most protective company on Earth. They're the company that lobbied to extend copyright laws just so Mickey wouldn't enter the public domain. If you painted Mickey Mouse on a daycare center wall, their lawyers would literally send you a cease and desist. They were the Disney Vault company. You couldn't even buy the movies half the time now. They are effectively handing you the tool and saying, here, make a movie, make Iron Man dance with Cinderella, make Darth Vader bake a cake. It is a complete philosophical 180. And Iger was very explicit about the rationale on the call, and it actually makes a ton of sense if you look at the media landscape. He admitted that short form and user-generated content is where the growth is. He pointed to YouTube. He pointed to TikTok. He knows that kids today aren't just watching 90-minute movies. They're watching 15-second clips made by other people. They're watching memes. They're watching remixes. And Disney has been completely absent from that world. Or rather, they haven't controlled it. When a kid makes a Star Wars meme on TikTok, ByteDance gets the engagement, not Disney. This deal is their attempt to recapture that attention economy. They want to bring that creation inside their own house. TechCrunch also noted a fascinating detail. Disney has about a year of exclusivity on this. That means for the next 12 months, if you want to use Sora to play with licensed IP, you have to do it through Disney. You can't go to Warner Bros. And do this with Batman yet. They are trying to corner the market on what I'm calling legal AI fan fiction. And that brings us to the most fascinating contradiction in this whole story, the paradox of the walled garden. At the exact same moment Disney is shaking hands with OpenAI and writing them $1 billion check, they are aggressively suing Google. It's like a game of legal whack-a-mole. NBC News reported that Disney sent a cease and desist letter to Google claiming their AI infringes on Disney copyrights on a massive scale. They've also sued Midjourney. They've gone after Character.ai. So if you're looking at this from the outside, you might ask, what is going on here? Does Disney hate AI or do they love it? Is this hypocrisy? The answer is they love AI that pays them, and they hate AI that doesn't. This isn't a moral stance against technology. It's a cold, hard business strategy about control. Iger said something very telling on the call. He said, trying to preserve the status quo is a mistake. He knows AI is coming. He knows people are going to generate Mickey Mouse videos whether he likes it or not. The technology's out of the bag. So the strategy is pick a partner, in this case, OpenAI, and make them the legitimate avenue.
Yeah.
And then use the full force of your legal team to crush the unauthorized ones like Google or Midjourney. It's about creating a walled garden. If you want to play with Star Wars and AI, you have to do it inside Disney plus Sinai, where they can monetize it, moderate it, and most importantly, where they keep the data. If you do it on Google, they'll sue you into oblivion. It's actually a classic Disney move, just updated for the 21st century. But of course, you cannot make a move this big handing your library over to a machine without triggering a massive backlash. And the reaction from Hollywood has been swift and furious. We have to look at the unions. The Writers Guild of America, the WGA, released a statement that did not mince words. They believe this deal cedes the value of what we create to a tech company. They view it as theft. They're planning to probe the deal terms immediately. They're terrified that user-generated content is just a way for Disney to get free labor. I mean, if millions of fans are making content for free on Disney Plus, does Disney need to hire as many writers for short-form stuff? Probably not. But the critique that really hit home for me came from the Animation Guild. These are the artists who literally drew the characters that are now being fed into the AI. Their statement was stinging. They said this undermines both integrity and legacy. And they raised a black box concern that I hadn't even thought about. And I want you to really consider this one. They asked, what happens to the likenesses of the users? Think about how this feature works. A child opens Disney Plus Dad. They want to make a video where they're flying alongside Peter Pan. So they upload a photo of themselves, maybe a video scan of their face. Now that data is in the system. Does Disney own that face scan? Does OpenAI? Is that child's face now being used to train the next version of the model? It is a privacy nightmare waiting to happen. We are talking about the biometric data of minors potentially being sucked into a large language model. And then there's the compensation issue. The animators who spent decades defining how Ariel moves or how the light hits Iron Man's armor, they aren't seeing a penny of this billion-dollar investment. They aren't getting royalties from the user-generated content. To them, this looks like Disney selling off the family silver to a robot. It is a genuine existential crisis for the artists who built the Magic Kingdom. They are watching the company take their life's work and turn it into a slurry for an algorithm. Now, I want to pivot briefly, because while the AI news is sucking up all the oxygen, there were some other major strategic shifts in this report. They tell us where Disney is heading in the physical world. It's not just about screens, it's about where you go and what you watch. Let's talk about the empire beyond the screen, specifically sports and parks. There was a huge update on ESPN that you might have missed. The NFL, the National Football League, has acquired a 10% equity stake in ESPN. This is massive. It blurs the line between the sport and the coverage of the sport. The league and the broadcaster are now literally business partners. Disney did disclose they have the right to buy that stake back in 10 years, in 2034. But for now, it cements ESPN as the default hub for football. They launched ESPN Unlimited, which is their new direct-to-consumer evolution. Basically, sports is becoming a vertically integrated monopoly, and Disney is locking arms with the NFL to make sure no one else can compete. If you're a football fan, you are going to be living in the Disney ecosystem, cable subscription or not. Then you have the experiences division, parks and cruises. This segment cracked $10 billion in revenue for the quarter. People are still spending money on Disney vacations. They're opening World of Frozen in Disneyland Paris. But there was a warning hidden in the report. They noted international visitation headwinds at domestic parks. Now that is classic corporate speak. What does it actually mean? It means fewer tourists are coming to Florida and California from overseas. It means the family from the UK or Brazil isn't making the trip to Disney World. Why? It's getting too expensive. The dollar is too strong. The parks have priced out the middle class of the world. So what's Disney's solution? If the tourists won't come to Disney, Disney is taking the ships to the tourists. They just launched the Disney Destiny cruise ship, and the Disney Adventure is heading to Singapore. That Singapore move is key. It's the first Disney ship home-ported in Asia. They are aggressively chasing the international market right in their backyard. It's a smart pivot. You can't afford to fly to Orlando. Fine, we'll park a massive floating theme park in your local harbor. So let's pull all this together. What does this tell us about the state of Disney as Bob Iger prepares to walk out the door? It tells us that the company is at a crossroads. Financially, Iger has done his job. He's leaving the company with $26 billion in quarterly revenue, massive hits like Zootopia 2 and Avatar, and a profitable streaming service. The fix worked. The balance sheet is healthy. The stock should be happy. But culturally and technologically, he is handing over a company that is in the middle of a profound identity crisis. Disney spent 100 years fiercely protecting its IP. They were the company that locked films in the Disney Vault to create artificial scarcity. They were the company that controlled every single pixel of their image. Now, in his final act, Iger is inviting the public and a massive tech company into the vault. He is saying, go ahead, remix our characters, use our IP. He is betting that the future of storytelling isn't just about passive consumption sitting in a theater watching a movie, but about active creation. He's betting that the kid of the future wants to make a Star Wars scene, not just watch one. And he's willing to alienate the creative community to make that bet pay off. It's a bold gamble. But it leaves us with a provocative thought to end on. I want you to think about what this means for art itself. Is this the democratization of storytelling? Is this giving fans the tools to engage with the stories they love in a deeper way, unlocking creativity in millions of people who couldn't draw a stick figure before? Or is it the ultimate devaluation of the artists? By turning Mickey Mouse into a prompt, just a piece of data to be manipulated by an algorithm, are we stripping away the magic that made him special in the first place? If anyone can make an Iron Man movie in 30 seconds, is an Iron Man movie special anymore? The Animation Guild would say no. They'd say we are hollowing out the soul of the medium. Bob Iger says yes. He says it's future-proofing. He says you have to evolve or die. As for me, I'm thinking about what happens a year from now. When you open Disney Plus said, and instead of the latest Pixar movie, the algorithm recommends a 30-second clip of Darth Vader baking a cake, generated by a 12-year-old in Ohio. Will you watch it? Will it feel like Disney? Or will it just feel like content? That is the experiment we are all about to be a part of. And frankly, whether we like it or not, the keys to the kingdom have already been handed over. I'd love to know what you think. If you had the keys to the Disney Vault and access to Sora, what story would you tell? Or would you refuse to use it out of principle? It's going to be a fascinating year to watch this play out. Thanks for listening to this breakdown of the future of the Magic Kingdom. I'll catch you on the next one.